It was the beginning of a new life for Greta Evans, an American hailing from Montana who embarked on a journey to the United Kingdom after securing a nanny position with the elderly Heelshires. Upon her arrival at their residence, the couple presented Greta with a unique responsibility, caring for a life-sized porcelain doll named Brahms, whom they regard as their own son. The Heelshires provided Greta with detailed instructions on how to tend to Brahms and manage their household during their absence, furnishing her with a set of stringent rules to adhere to. These guidelines include reading to Brahms in a resounding, articulate manner and playing loud music for him as part of her duties.
What I'm trying to say, miss, is that whatever it might look like on the outside, our son is here. He's very much with us. Do you understand, Miss Evans?
Mr. Heelshire said. When they were about to leave, Mrs. Heelshire, who seemed very sad, told Greta,
"I'm so sorry."
All alone in the house, Greta couldn't stand it anymore, so picked up a blanket and tossed it over Brahms.
No offense, but you creep me out.
Initially, Greta paid little heed to the rules, often disregarding them. She frequently reaches out to her sister, who relays troubling news about Greta's abusive ex-boyfriend, Cole, who is making persistent attempts to locate her. During this time, Malcolm, the local delivery man, became a frequent visitor, and through their conversations, Greta uncovered a haunting revelation. The actual Brahms met a tragic end in a fire 2 decades ago on his 8th birthday. Malcolm eventually mustered the courage to ask Greta out on a date, to which she graciously agrees. As Greta prepared for their rendezvous, an eerie turn of events unfolded. Her dress and jewelry mysteriously vanished while she's in the midst of a shower. Intrigued by strange sounds, she's lured to the attic, only to find herself trapped inside, and yet, she was inexplicably released the following morning. Greta confided in Malcolm about these unsettling experiences, and the two engaged in a discussion about the real Brahms, described by Mr. Heelshire as peculiar. Unusual occurrences begin to unfold within the household. The haunting echoes of a child's cries reverberate through the hallways, phone conversations abruptly disconnect, and the porcelain doll inexplicably appears to shift off its own accord. One particularly unsettling moment came when Greta received a phone call, during which a child's voice,
"Why won't you follow the rules? Why won't you follow the rules? Why won't you follow the rules?"
Filled with trepidation, Greta sought refuge in her room. To her astonishment, she discovered a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, her personal favorite, placed outside her door, accompanied by the child's voice assuring her of good behavior. Convinced that Brahms' spirit resides within the doll, Greta started to take the rules with utmost seriousness. Elsewhere, the Heelshires wrote a goodbye letter to Brahms before drowning themselves.
It's time, my dear.
Recalling the Healshire's characterization of Brahms as a timid figure, she began to discern a peculiar pattern. The doll only exhibits signs of movement when she herself is absent from the room. To illustrate this unsettling revelation, she decided to show it to Malcolm, who, upon witnessing it, becomes deeply concerned.
I should have told you this before, but I didn't want to scare you off. A little girl from town used to come out here once a week to play with Brahms. Emily Cribbs. And on his birthday she comes out but never makes it home.
Emily was later found in the forest with her skull crushed. Before the police could question Brahms, the Healshire's house was burnt down with him in it. Malcolm warned her not to stay, but Greta, having previously suffered a miscarriage after being beaten by Cole, felt obligated to care for Brahms.
I know he wouldn't hurt me. I know.
In the attic, she stumbled upon a collection of photographs depicting a young Brahms, each portraying him with an air of melancholy and never a trace of a smile. One evening, Cole arrived with the clear intention of coercing Greta to return home against her will. Recognizing the imminent threat to Greta's safety, Malcolm positions himself nearby, ready to intervene if necessary. Faced with this perilous situation, Greta turned to the doll, her last hope for assistance. Later that night, Cole woke up only to be confronted by a horrifying sight. A chilling message, daubed in blood, commands him to depart. The ominous warning sent shivers down his spine, serving as a stark reminder that he is not welcome in this unsettling place. Believing it was done by either Greta or Malcolm, he angrily smashed the doll to pieces. A sudden and violent upheaval seized the house, its foundations trembling beneath their feet as ominous noises resonated from within the walls. Their terror mounted as a mirror in the room shattered into 1,000 shards. From a gaping hole behind the fractured glass, an eerie figure emerged, the real Brahms, now an adult, donning a porcelain mask that mirrors the doll's lifeless visage. It became chillingly clear that Brahms, after surviving the devastating fire, has been clandestinely residing within the labyrinthine walls of the house. In a horrifying turn of events, Brahms dispatched Cole with ruthless efficiency, leaving no room for escape. With an unholy determination, he turned his attention towards Malcolm and Greta, their lives hanging by a thread as they find themselves trapped in a nightmarish confrontation with the enigmatic and malevolent presence that dwells within the house. As they desperately evaded Brahms's relentless pursuit, Greta and Malcolm stumbled upon a room that held the haunting secrets of Brahms. There, they were met with a chilling sight. On Brahms's bed was a grotesque doll, fashioned from Greta's missing dress, hair, and jewelry. The eerie creation served as a grotesque testament to the depths of Brahms's obsession. As Greta investigated further, she came across a disturbing farewell letter penned by the Healshires. The letter unveils the Healshire's unsettling scheme, They had orchestrated a plan to leave Greta behind as a companion for Brahms, a revelation that sent shivers down their spines as they came to understand the true extent of the malevolence lurking within the walls of the house.
We will not be back. The girl is yours now. She is yours to love.
Terrified, Greta screamed.
It's me. That's my dress. My necklace and my hair. He's been watching me this whole time. They're never coming back. He's been living in the walls the whole time, watching me.
As they tried to escape, Brahms knocked out Malcolm and threatened to kill him if Greta leaves.
Get back here. Get back here. Don't leave me. If you leave, I'll kill him. I'll kill him just like the others.
Summoning every ounce of her courage, Greta managed to break free from the house's clutches and made a daring escape. However, her unwavering loyalty to Malcolm led her back into the heart of danger. Armed with a screwdriver, she invoked the rules that once bound her and forced Brahms into submission, compelling him to retreat to his bed, albeit temporarily.
You know the rules.
Brahms, in his sinister obsession, requested a goodnight kiss from Greta. Seizing this opportunity, Greta swiftly stabbed Brahms with her weapon. A violent struggle ensued as Brahms attempted to choke her, but she managed to push the weapon deeper into her assailant, causing him to collapse in pain and defeat. Greta and Malcolm escaped from the oppressive confines of the house, leaving behind the horrors that once imprisoned them. Later, someone is seen meticulously repairing the shattered doll, suggesting that the sinister legacy of Brahms may still linger, waiting to resurface once more.
The Boy is a psychological horror film directed by William Brent Bell, known for its eerie atmosphere and unexpected twists. Released in 2016, the movie takes the haunted doll trope to new heights, delivering a suspenseful and chilling narrative that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats. At its core, The Boy revolves around the character of Greta Evans, played by Lauren Cohen, who takes on a nanny job in a remote English mansion. Her charge, however, is not an ordinary child but a lifelike porcelain doll named Brahms, treated as a real boy by the elderly Heels hire couple. As Greta becomes acclimated to her strange responsibilities, the film deftly explores themes of isolation, obsession, and the supernatural. What sets The Boy apart from many other horror films is its slow-burning tension. The director masterfully builds an atmosphere of uncertainty and dread throughout the movie, utilizing the eerie, isolated setting of the mansion to its full potential. The creaking floorboards, mysterious noises, and the feeling of being constantly watched create an unsettling ambience that keeps the audience guessing. The film also capitalizes on the uncertainty surrounding Brahms, leading viewers to question whether the doll is truly possessed or if something else entirely is at play. As the narrative unfolds, the movie plays with the audience's expectations, leading to a series of unexpected twists and revelations that keep the suspense alive until the very end. One of the standout aspects of The Boy is Lauren Cohen's performance as Greta. She portrays the character's growing unease and determination with conviction, making her a relatable and sympathetic protagonist. The supporting cast, including Rupert Evans as Malcolm, also delivers solid performances that contribute to the overall tension and believability of the story. While The Boy is a well-crafted horror film, it's not without its flaws. Some viewers might find fault in certain plot developments that require a suspension of disbelief, especially in the latter part of the movie when the story veers into more overtly supernatural territory. In conclusion, The Boy is a notable addition to the horror genre, offering a refreshing take on the haunted doll trope. It's a film that skillfully combines psychological suspense with supernatural elements, resulting in an engaging and often spine-tingling experience. If you're a fan of slow-burning horror with a psychological edge, The Boy is worth a watch. Just be prepared for a few spine-tingling surprises along the way. Thank you for watching our movie synopsis. Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and notification bell to receive reminders of our next movie synopsis here on Bento's Story Box. See you next time, or at the movies.
In the late 18th century in the coastal town of Collinsport, Maine, the wealthy Collins family established their grand estate, Collingwood Manor, and became known for their successful fishing business. Barnabas Collins, the young and charming heir of the Collins family, captured the heart of Angelique Bouchard, a beautiful and enigmatic servant. However, Barnabas spurned Angelique's affection when he fell in love with another woman. Unbeknownst to him, Angelique is a powerful witch. Consumed by jealousy and rage, she cursed Barnabas, turning him into a vampire, then buried him alive in a chained coffin. Centuries passed, Barnabas' existence became a dark legend within the Collins family. In 1972, construction workers accidentally unearthed his coffin, releasing him from his long and lonely imprisonment. Barnabas emerged into the bewildering world of the 20th century, an era vastly different from the one he knew. Barnabas's path led him through the streets of Collinsport, a world far removed from the one he once knew. He navigated a landscape dominated by vibrant billboards, fast-moving vehicles, and a cacophony of sounds that assault his senses. His classic attire and old-world demeanor attracted attention, garnering both bemused glances and curious whispers from modern-day passers-by. Upon his arrival at Collingwood Manor, the ancestral home of the Collins family, Barnabas is greeted by a sense of familiarity mixed with stark changes. He discovered that his once proud family has fallen on hard times. The mansion is in disrepair, the family's fishing business is failing, and his descendants are grappling with their own personal struggles. Interacting with his modern-day relatives Elizabeth, Carolyn, and David, Barnabas began navigating the challenges of the 1970s while concealing his true nature as a vampire. He started to unravel the mysteries of his family's present circumstances while confronting his own haunted past. As Barnabas navigates this new world, his encounters with technology and fashion continue to elicit both amusement and bewilderment. Yet, beneath his polite exterior, a determination burns. He is resolute in his mission to restore the family name and unravel the mysteries that have plagued his descendants. With each step he takes into this unfamiliar era, Barnabas finds himself not only facing the challenges of modernity but also a supernatural battle that spans centuries. As the clash between old and new, past and present, unfolds, the fate of the Collins family and their legacy hangs in the balance. The stage is now set for a clash between Barnabas and Angelique, as their centuries-old feud is rekindled in the modern world. With his unique abilities and his determination to protect his family, Barnabas sets out on a journey of redemption and discovery in the strange and surreal world of 1970s America. Restoring his family's former glory required a lot of hard work. He blended his old-world charm and newfound knowledge of the modern world to modernize the family's fishing business, much to the amusement and skepticism of his descendants. As Barnabas reconnected with his family members, he becomes particularly drawn to Victoria Winters, a young governess at Collinwood bearing an uncanny resemblance to his lost love, Josette. Victoria's presence both intrigued and confused Barnabas, rekindling memories of his tragic past. Meanwhile, Barnabas' revival draws the attention of Angelique, who has seamlessly integrated herself into the modern era and now holds significant influence as a powerful businesswoman and the owner of the dominant Angel Bay seafood. Angelique's obsession with Barnabas resurfaces, and she employs her supernatural abilities to undermine his efforts and challenge his position within the family. Supernatural occurrences began to plague Collinwood, causing tension and confusion among the family members. Mysterious shadows, unexplained noises, and strange phenomena casted a foreboding atmosphere over the mansion. Barnabas realized that the curse Angelique placed upon him centuries ago has left its mark on the family, and he enlisted the help of Willie Loomis, a loyal servant, and Dr. Julia Hoffman, a quirky and eccentric live-in psychiatrist, to unravel the mysteries. As Barnabas and his newfound allies delve into the secrets of Collinwood, they uncovered hidden passages, concealed rooms, and cryptic documents that hint at a deeper connection between the present and the past. Barnabas' interactions with Victoria became more meaningful, and he began to believe that her presence holds the key to breaking the curse that binds his family. In one of their conversations, Victoria confided in Barnabas, revealing the haunting secret that has plagued her throughout her life, the persistent presence of Josette's ghost. She recounted the tragic tale of her parents committing her to an asylum due to her claims of seeing the apparition. Victoria's eyes glistened with tears as she describes her eventual escape from the confines of the institution, guided by the ethereal presence of Josette. Barnabas listens intently, a mix of sympathy and understanding in his gaze. Her story resonated deeply with his own history, forging a connection between them that transcends the boundaries of time. Moments like these only made Angelique even more jealous. But with her interference escalating, Barnabas' determination only grows stronger. Collinwood then became a battleground for their supernatural rivalry. Barnabas, armed with a newfound understanding of his family's history and the support of his allies, took a stand to protect his descendants and break the curse that has plagued them for centuries. Barnabas and his allies engaged in a climactic confrontation with Angelique, culminating in a dramatic battle that combines supernatural forces and strategic wit. The clash between vampire and witch unleashes a series of spectacular and otherworldly events that challenge the boundaries between reality and the supernatural. Amid the chaos, Barnabas and Victoria's connection deepens, as they draw strength from their shared experiences and face the challenges together. As they unlock the mysteries of Collinwood and the family's past, they discover a way to weaken Angelique's hold and ultimately break the curse that has haunted the Collins family for generations. The resolution of the conflict requires sacrifice and teamwork, with each member of the Collins family playing a crucial role. As the dust settles and the supernatural forces are subdued, Collinwood begins to transform, reflecting the restoration of balance and the triumph over dark magic. Barnabas and Victoria finally got their happy ever after.
Dark Shadows, 2012, is a comedic fantasy film directed by Tim Burton, starring Johnny Depp as Barnabas Collins, Eva Green as Angelique Bouchard, and an ensemble cast that includes Michelle Pfeiffer, Helena Bonham Carter, and Chloe Grace Moretz. The film is based on the 1966 to 1971 Gothic soap opera of the same name and blends elements of comedy, fantasy, and supernatural drama. Tim Burton's signature visual style is evident throughout the film, with its dark and whimsical aesthetics. The set designs, costumes, and cinematography capture the Gothic atmosphere of the original TV series while infusing Burton's distinctive flair. The mansion of Collinwood and its surroundings are intricately detailed, creating a hauntingly beautiful backdrop for the story. Johnny Depp's portrayal of Barnabas Collins encapsulates his quirky and eccentric acting style. Eva Green brings a seductive and powerful presence to her role as Angelique, the witch with a vengeful streak. The supporting cast, including Michelle Pfeiffer, Helena Bonham Carter, and Chloe Grace Moretz, contribute to the film's ensemble charm. Dark Shadows combines supernatural elements with comedy, resulting in a tonal mix that may polarize audiences. The film's humor often relies on fish-out-of-water scenarios, as Barnabas navigates the perplexing world of the 1970s. While some viewers appreciate the blend of supernatural drama and humor, others may find it uneven or disruptive to the film's atmosphere. The film reimagines the original TV series by incorporating elements of time travel, romance, and family dynamics. The plot explores Barnabas' attempts to restore his family's fortunes while facing the vengeful witch Angelique. However, the pacing can feel disjointed at times, with the narrative juggling various subplots and character arcs. For fans of the original Dark Shadow series, the film offers nostalgic references and nods to the source material. It playfully embraces the campy charm of the show while modernizing the story for a contemporary audience. However, some purists of the TV series may find fault with certain liberties taken in the adaptation. Danny Elfman's musical score complements the film's gothic and comedic sensibilities. The soundtrack incorporates both original compositions and period-appropriate songs, contributing to the film's overall atmosphere. In conclusion, Dark Shadows, 2012, is a visually captivating film that combines gothic aesthetics with Tim Burton's trademark quirkiness. While it offers an entertaining blend of supernatural drama and comedy, its tonal shifts and pacing might not resonate equally with all viewers. Whether enjoyed as a nostalgic homage or approached with an open mind, the film provides a unique spin on the classic Dark Shadow story. Thank you for watching our movie synopsis. Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and notification bell to receive reminders of our next movie synopsis here on Bento's Story Box. See you next time, or in the movies.
Liza's family had been living a happy and comfortable life until that fateful night when she and her son, Jude, were attacked by two masked men in the absence of her husband, Sean. Since then, the two have been traumatized and their once tranquil home was transformed into a scene of turmoil and fear. Night after night, Liza was tormented by relentless nightmares while Jude remained deeply scarred by the experience, which left him unable to speak. In an effort to find solace and healing for their shattered lives, Liza's husband, Sean, proposed a fresh start in the tranquil countryside. With hopeful hearts, the family made the decision to leave their troubled past behind and embark on a journey to a serene manor, nestled far away from the chaos of the city. Upon their arrival at the grand manor house, the family eagerly began to explore the sprawling property, each member hoping for a fresh start. As they wandered through the lush gardens and winding pathways, young Jude stumbled upon an unusual discovery, a porcelain doll, partially buried in the soft earth. Meanwhile, Liza and Sean's curiosity led them to a nearby, equally impressive mansion on the estate. Lost in their exploration, they suddenly realized that Jude was nowhere to be seen. Panic set in as Liza frantically searched for her son. When she finally found him, he was clutching a dirty porcelain doll he had found earlier. Seeing the spark of connection between Jude and the doll, Liza decided to embrace this unexpected source of comfort and encouragement. Determined to make things a little brighter for her son, she lovingly cleaned and restored the doll, making it look as good as new. Jude shared in writing that the doll he found actually has a name, Brahms, saying that the porcelain boy introduced himself. Thinking that it's just a simple child stuff, her parents did not see anything wrong. The following day, at Jude's request, Liza and her son took a leisurely walk around the expansive property, still discovering its secrets, including the doll's grave. During their stroll, they unexpectedly encountered Joseph, the diligent property caretaker, accompanied by his loyal dog. As they engaged in polite conversation with Joseph, the dog seemed uncomfortable with Brahms. At home, Liza shared how creepy she finds the doll.
I mean, who the hell buries a doll in the woods like that? You weren't there. You didn't see it. His entire wardrobe in this coffin thing.
In a surprising turn of events, Liza and Sean overheard Jude talking in his room. Curiosity piqued, they approached him and asked if he was speaking to Brahms. To their amazement, Jude responded with a yes written on his notepad. He went on to reveal that Brahms did not like Joseph's dog. Elated by this unexpected revelation, the couple made a decision. They resolved to keep the doll as it seemed to bring a unique comfort to their son. Later that evening, the dog went outside the house and started growling. The next day, the dog was there again, as if it was watching over the house. During their breakfast, Jude showed a number of rules to her parents, saying Brahms asked him to list them down. Amidst the peculiar events unfolding within the home, a profound transformation occurred in Jude's demeanor. He began playing pranks on his parents and persistently placed the blame on the doll. Despite Liza's desire to get rid of Brahms, Jude's psychologist asked them to let their child have it because it helps him process his trauma.
I understand that some of Jude's recent behaviors would be upsetting. But the doll clearly is providing him with a safe outlet to process his trauma. I urge you to be patient and allow him to have his friend. He's found a place with this doll where he feels safe. And the last thing we want to do is to take that away.
Liza, still feeling that something is wrong with the doll, decided to search for information on the internet. But when she was about to read an article about a man who had been living within the walls, he saw Joseph approaching Jude. She ran fast to check on them. Joseph told Liza,
I was just looking for Oz, my dog.
Checking on Jude later, Liza stumbled upon disturbing drawings in Jude's notepad, including a depiction of a bloody dog and a series of other chilling sketches. Her shock deepened when she discovered what seemed to be a conversation between Jude and Brahms in the form of written notes. Jude also began dressing like Brahms. Later that evening, the family gathered for dinner, and Jude made an entry in his notepad, stating that Brahms' plate was missing. Liza, still upset about earlier discoveries, firmly asserted that Brahms couldn't eat since he was just a doll. While eating, Sean shared that some relatives are coming over, but Jude wrote on his notepad, saying Brahms's rule prohibiting guests from entering their house. What happened during the dinner sparked an argument between Liza and Sean, leading Sean to leave the room in frustration. Liza then joined Jude at the dining table and instructed him to stay put until he finished his meal.
The doll and his rules do not run this house.
He responded, saying she's making Brahms mad. Disappointed, she left the dining room and, moments later, heard a loud noise. Liza and Sean rushed into the room, where they were met with the unsettling sight of the dining room table and chairs overturned. Jude, visibly frightened, hastily wrote in his notepad and warned Liza not to anger Brahms. Tensions escalated as Sean and Liza engaged in a heated argument about Brahms and the inexplicable occurrences. Surprisingly, the unsettling drawings of themselves and Joseph's missing dog had mysteriously vanished from Jude's notepad. Next day, Jude left for the nearby mansion with Brahms in hand, leaving a note saying, "You should have followed the rules." At the mansion, the couple was delighted to hear Jude speak again. But Joseph encouraged them to leave, saying they're not really supposed to be in that part of the house. Liza asked about the place and Joseph shared.
There was a family that lived here a long time ago. Had a son who went a bit mad. Killed a little girl. Got burns and fire. Wore a mask to hide it. Lived inside the walls of the house for 30 years. Never came out. The parents drowned themselves. Very sad story. It all got a little bit messy after the parents were gone. He killed a man, very nearly 2 others, before he was killed himself. They're all dead and buried now. His name was Brahms.
He was also asked about Oz, and he shared that he found him gutted in the forest. Shortly thereafter, Sean's brother and his family came for a visit. Their bonding, however, was cut short when Will, Jude's cousin, sustained an unexplained injury. Sean accompanied them to the hospital. Going through the internet, Liza found that the Heels hires were not the doll's first owner. At the same time, Sean also discovered something about the Heels hires.
All family went completely mad out there. It had something to do with their son living inside the walls for years. But that's not the only thing that happened out there. There were other tragedies before. Back in the 50s, a kid killed his own mother and brother, convinced the doll was speaking to him. And it's still going on. Last year, that city man that bought it after the Heels hires went a bit mad. I saw him down in the pub one time. Old Crazy Joe. That's what people called him. His name was Joseph.
At home, Liza had to face Joseph, who intruded on their house, saying Brahms and Jude would soon be one.
You see, everybody thought that I was crazy. They thought that Heels hires were just crazy, but no. It's always been the doll. He knew your boy would find him. That's why he told me to bury him.
Impatient, Liza struck Joseph on the head before making her way to the mansion in search of her son. But when she found him, he pointed a gun at her. Just in time, Sean found them in the basement and used a croquet mallet to strike Brahms. This had revealed a horrifying, rotting visage hidden beneath the doll's facade. Joseph, who followed them, shouted in fear.
You don't understand. It will never be over.
A furnace then exploded, killing Joseph but leaving the family unharmed. Jude grabbed Brahms and threw him into the fire. Liza, Sean, and Jude went back to the city and everything was back to normal again. However, when left alone in his room, Jude walked over to his dresser and puts on a porcelain mask.
Good night, Brahms. I think we'll be happy here. If they learn the rules.
Brahms, The Boy 2 is a 2020 horror film directed by William Brent Bell and serves as a sequel to the 2016 movie The Boy. The film follows the story of a family, Lisa, Katie Holmes, Sean, Owain Yeoman, and their son Jude, Christopher Convery, who moved to the Heels Hire mansion after a traumatic home invasion. Jude discovers a doll named Brahms buried in the woods, and the family's nightmare begins when they bring it into their home. The film has received mixed reviews from both critics and audiences. On one hand, it does manage to maintain an eerie atmosphere throughout, helped by its gothic setting and creepy doll, Brahms. Katie Holmes delivers a competent performance as the concerned mother, and Christopher Convery effectively portrays Jude's growing obsession with the doll. However, the movie falls short in terms of originality and scares. The plot feels predictable and recycled, with elements borrowed from other supernatural horror films. The suspense doesn't build as effectively as it should, and the jump scares are often telegraphed, diminishing their impact. The film also attempts to delve into psychological horror but doesn't explore the potential complexities of its characters and their relationships to the fullest. Brahms, The Boy 2 ultimately struggles to live up to the potential set by its predecessor. While it manages to deliver some atmospheric moments and a few decent scares, it fails to offer a fresh take on the haunted doll trope and lacks the depth needed to make its characters and their experiences truly engaging. If you're a fan of the genre and can appreciate a spooky atmosphere, you may find some enjoyment in it, but for those seeking a more original and chilling horror experience, this film may leave you wanting more. Thank you for watching our movie synopsis. Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and notification bell to receive reminders of our next movie synopsis here on Bento's Storybox. See you next time, or at the movies.
It's good news, isn't it?
Eloise Ellie Turner asked the reflection of her mother's ghost in the mirror. Seeing the smile on her mom's face, she knew good things are coming. And then, her grandmother called her, handing her an envelope that will change her life forever. She's going to London to follow her dreams. A gentle and innocent teenager grappling with mental health challenges, Ellie got a deep passion for the music and fashion of the vibrant swinging 60s, nurturing a dream to follow in the footsteps of her late mother as a fashion designer. Ellie's childhood was marked by the tragic loss of her mother, who was also a talented designer but sadly took her own life. Her grandmother took on the role of raising her, providing love and support. She also occasionally catches glimpses of her mother's spectral presence in the reflections of mirrors, an ethereal connection that her grandmother acknowledges and understands, but also made her really worried as she goes to London alone. But for Ellie, it doesn't matter at all. She will go to London to follow her dreams. Ellie embarked on a significant journey from her serene rural residence near Redruth, Cornwall, to pursue her studies at the renowned London College of Fashion. Her transition to the bustling city, however, proved to be a challenging endeavor as she struggled to find her place among her fellow students. Her dormitory life became particularly difficult due to the persistent bullying she had to endure from her roommate, Jocasta. But amid this sea of adversity, Ellie discovered a ray of kindness in John, a fellow student who extended a warm and welcoming hand. Dissatisfied with her dormitory experience, Ellie decided to seek solace in a cozy bedsit, thoughtfully owned by the elderly and amiable Miss Collins. That night, Ellie had a vivid dream where she was transported back to the 1960s. At the Café de Paris, she observed a confident young blonde woman, Sandy, inquiring about becoming a singer at the club. Sandy began a relationship with the charming mod manager, Jack. In this dream, Ellie experienced some of Sandy's moments as well. The next morning, Ellie designed a dress inspired by Sandy and discovered a love bite on her neck. Ellie had another dream in which she witnessed Sandy auditioning at a Soho nightclub, an arrangement made possible by Jack. The audition went well and Jack became Sandy's manager. The two later shared a romantic moment. The dream continued with Sandy returning to the very same bedsit that Ellie had rented. Fueled by these visions, Ellie decided to dye her hair blonde and adapt her fashion style to mirror Sandy's. I'm just glad you're finding yourself in London, Eloise.
Gran, it's everything I ever dreamed of.
She also started excelling in her fashion class.
When I imagine it, she's wearing the dress. The dress isn't wearing her.
I hope you were all listening to that.
She also secured a job at a local pub. There, she met a silver-haired man who noticed her striking resemblance to Sandy. As Ellie delved into subsequent dreams, she unraveled a distressing reality. Sandy's life had taken a tragic turn, as she found herself being exploited by Jack, who was now pushing her into unsavory arrangements with his male business associates. In her waking life, John noticed her feeling low and expressed support.
I know what it's like to feel like you don't belong. And I'm a good listener if you ever want to talk.
But Ellie was not ready to talk about it. During a horrifying Halloween experience where the men haunted her again, Ellie and John started to find comfort in each other's company, and eventually ended up at her rented room sharing a romantic moment. This moment was cut short, however, following a harrowing vision of Jack seemingly murdering Sandy.
You belong to me. I own you. Don't you ever disobey me.
As the scenes got more intense, Ellie started to scream, calling the attention of her landlady.
Eloise! What is going on in there? No male visitors. Who's in there? I'll call the police.
Miss Collins opened the door and drove John away, thinking he hurt the young woman. Ellie saw Sandy covered in blood while lying in bed. In the morning, Ellie apologized to Miss Collins and asked,
Did a girl live upstairs before?
Lots of girls have lived here over the years.
Someone called Sandy?
Lots of girls have lived here over the years, and not all of them with their real names. Why do you ask?
Did someone die in my room?
This is London. Someone's died in every room in every building in this whole city. Every street corner, too.
Ellie resolved to find the silver-haired man, whom she suspected to be Jack. She first reached out to the police with her concerns, but her earnest pleas fell on deaf ears. However, a compassionate female detective showed genuine concern for Ellie's well-being, even if the authorities didn't take her claim seriously. Ellie found comfort in John's presence, eventually telling him about Sandy. In the library, the two embarked on a search for newspaper reports regarding Sandy's tragic fate. Yet, what they stumbled upon were accounts of local men who had mysteriously disappeared without a trace. There, the ghosts came once again, frightening her even more. Consumed by the belief that she must seek justice for Sandy, Ellie mustered the courage to confront the enigmatic silver-haired man, still believing that he is Jack.
I know what you did to Sandy. I saw her. I see her. I know what happened.
Whatever happened to Sandy, she brought it on herself.
But no one deserves that.
Listen, I know where you live, Eloise. And I don't know what you've seen or heard, but I can tell you Sandy ended up exactly where she wanted to be.
Ellie insisted that the man killed Sandy, which he denied, saying,
Alex killed Sandy. You think she was an angel, but don't be fooled.
He exited the pub, but Ellie ran after him.
When you see Alex in whatever little hell she's currently in, you tell her I said hello.
And then, fate took a cruel twist as he was tragically struck by a taxi. Everyone came out after the accident. Ellie's boss cried as she told Sandy that he is Lindsay, one of the city's most respectable authorities.
He used to be a copper in Soho for years and years, working the red light district, and now look at him.
As this revelation unfolded, Ellie's memory surged with recollections of Lindsay's presence in her dreams. She realized that he was an undercover vice officer who had been attempting to help and support Sandy in her desperate bid to break free from the grip of prostitution. In a state of panic, Ellie rushed to confide in Ms. Collins about her decision to leave London. She was accompanied by John, who she asked to wait outside in his car.
If I'm not back in 15 minutes, maybe come check on me.
Ms. Collins calmly informed her that she is aware of Ellie's visit to the police, mentioning the policewoman who had come to inquire about her.
You'd been saying a girl died up there. I hadn't thought about it until you brought it up, but a girl did die up there, I suppose. The young me that came to this big city. Sandy. I had hopes and dreams like you. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to perform. To act.
There, it was revealed that Ellie's vision of Sandy's demise, which had haunted her, was in fact a vision of Sandy defending herself by taking Jack's life when he threatened her with a knife.
Sandy died in that room. She died in that room 100 times. And then one night, the man who put me there, the man who put me to work, the man who stole my dream, well, I put a knife in him 100 times.
She shared that she enticed the men who had exploited her back to her room and took their lives, eventually concealing their remains within the hidden recesses of the house's floorboards and walls.
The papers call them missing persons. As far as I'm concerned, they were already lost. So they don't know where they are. I say they didn't know who they were.
I was doing everyone a favor. I wasn't gonna be used anymore.
I wasn't gonna let this city break me.
Unbeknownst to Ellie, Ms. Collins had secretly laced her tea with a deadly concoction, intent on silencing her forever to protect her gruesome secret. Amid the ensuing scuffle, Ellie accidentally knocked over an ashtray, igniting a dangerous fire. John rushed to Ellie's aid, but he fell victim to Ms. Collins' attack as she stabbed him and continued her pursuit of Ellie. In the middle of the chaos, Ellie experienced a disorienting hallucination in which Ms. Collins morphed into a younger Sandy, and they appeared to be ascending a surreal glass staircase. Ellie's survival instincts kicked in, leading her to kick Ms. Collins, sending her tumbling down the stairs. Ellie hurried to her room, where the spirits of Sandy's victims implored her to take revenge, but she steadfastly declined. Ms. Collins entered Ellie's room, where she too beheld the apparitions and was struck by the spectral figure resembling Jack.
I'm with you till the end, Sandy. You were the one who wanted this. More than anything, you said.
I didn't want any of this.
I know.
With the police positioned outside, she made a grim attempt at ending her own life.
I'm not going to prison. I've been in a prison all my life. Ellie, comprehending the motives behind Ms. Collins' actions, intervened to prevent the tragic act. Sandy told Ellie to save John and herself, remaining in the building as it burns.
You can't save me! Save yourself! Save the boy!
After the chaos, Ellie enjoyed success as her designs were showcased at her end-of-year fashion show and was congratulated by her grandmother and John. Ellie gazed into a mirror and was greeted by the tender image of her mother and a spectral vision of Sandy. Her mother gave her a proud, warm smile, while Sandy affectionately blew her a kiss.
Last Night in Soho, the 2021 British-American psychological horror film directed by Edgar Wright and co-written by Wright and Krysty Wilson Cairns, is a visually stylish and ambitious cinematic offering that captivates its audience with a mesmerizing blend of genres. The movie stars a talented ensemble cast featuring Thomasin McKenzie, Anya Taylor-Joy, Matt Smith, Rita Tushingham, Michael Ajao, Terence Stamp, and the late Diana Rigg and Margaret Nolan. The film is dedicated to the memories of Rigg and Nolan, marking their final film appearances. The film had its world premiere at the 78th Venice International Film Festival on September 4, 2021, followed by a UK premiere at the BFI London Film Festival on October 9, 2021. It was subsequently theatrically released in both the UK and the US on October 29, 2021, by Universal Pictures and Focus Features, respectively. The story revolves around Ellie, portrayed by Thomasin McKenzie, an aspiring fashion designer who mysteriously finds herself able to step into the 1960s. In this bygone era, she encounters a charismatic aspiring singer, but the glamour of the past soon reveals its darker facets as the dreams start to unravel. Edgar Wright's creative direction, coupled with an exceptional selection of music, creates an atmosphere that seamlessly intertwines the past and present. The film cleverly uses songs from the 1960s, with notable tracks like Wade in the Water and You're My World, to set the tone and mood of the story. Additionally, Happy House by Sue and the Banshees from the 1980s adds an extra layer of intrigue with its exceptional production. Last Night in Soho keeps its audience engaged with its stylish aesthetics and ambitious storytelling. While it struggles to maintain its thrilling early momentum, the film impresses with Wright's creative vision, providing a riveting experience. It's a riotous and rascally hybrid that combines elements of a love letter to the nightlife district of Soho with a darting psychological thriller, all while pushing the boundaries of genre. It masterfully transitions between time travel fantasy, dark fairy tale, mystery, and nightmarish horror, creating a gaudy yet enticing romp that transports its modern-day heroine to a bygone London that may only exist in our cultural imagination. In summary, Last Night in Soho delivers a visually striking and genre-blurring experience, making it a must-see for fans of Edgar Wright's unique style and those who appreciate films that challenge traditional storytelling boundaries. The film has garnered generally favorable reviews and successfully provides a captivating journey into a mesmerizing and sinister past. Thank you for watching our movie synopsis. Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and notification bell to receive reminders of our next movie synopsis here on Bento's Story Box. See you next time, or at the movies.
Do you believe in blessings? For instance, making a birthday wish, or wishing someone safe travels, or even Merry Christmas. It may be just a thought or a reminder. The fact is, we all unconsciously believe our intentions can bring about good outcomes. But did you know intentions really can change outcomes? Our intentions are quietly shaping this world. This is how blessings work. My name is Lee Ronan.
Six years prior, Ronan, her boyfriend Dom, and Dom's cousin Yuan had ventured into a secluded clan village inhabited by Dom and Yuan's relatives. They were there to document a ritual for their online video channel, even though it involved breaking a religious taboo. This village was home to followers of an esoteric Yunnan religion that revered an ancestral deity known as Mother Buddha.
What are you filming?
Nothing. It's just a toy. I just bought it.
I might not have been clear on the phone, but this is a private family ritual. Outsiders aren't allowed.
But granduncle, she's not an outsider. She is his girlfriend.
He politely instructed them to ask Ronan to drive away and return once they finished the ritual. Granduncle left and Ronan, who had been noticing an old woman oddly staring at her for some time now, called out the attention of the two guys. The old woman approached their granduncle, who eventually came back to the car with the old woman. The old woman looked at Ronan's hand and then, surprisingly, they excitedly welcomed her to their place. Granduncle also told Dom that the old woman is their family's oldest great-aunt. He also asked them to stop filming, saying they're there to worship. The clan members requested that the three of them provide their names along with a special incantation to be presented to Mother Buddha.
After offering up your real name, you cannot use it here anymore. Don't even think it in your mind.
During this ceremony, clan elder approached Ronan and delivered an unexpected message.
Mother Buddha likes the little girl in your tummy. Once she has a name, the name must be offered too. Understand? Ronan and Dom were taken aback by this revelation, as they had not been aware of her pregnancy at that time.
I made this video because I hope everyone can help resolve my daughter's misfortune. If you're willing to stay, just in case, please look at this symbol until you've memorized it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can, please recite this with me. Doing it in your mind is fine too.
Ho, ho, show, yi, zi, sha, wu, ma. Ho, ho, show, yi, zi, sha, wu, ma.
Ho, ho, show, yi, zi, sha, wu, ma. Ho, ho, show, yi, zi, sha, wu, ma.
Ho, ho, show, yi, zi, sha, wu, ma.
Flashback. That evening, the group surreptitiously observed the clan as they carried out their ritual. In the midst of the ceremony, they noticed a young girl who appeared to be willingly undergoing preparations for a sacrifice. Yuan too fell. The little girl invited Ronan into a room, but banned Dom and Yuan from entering. There, she found sculptures and a number of eerie images and spots. Meanwhile, the girl asked her to do some weird things. Later, the three were locked inside the room after Granduncle instructed them to leave the next morning. Dom broke the door so they could escape. Then, Ronan started to feel weak. Despite this, they still decided to breach the clan tunnel's barricades, even if they had been explicitly warned that entering it is strictly forbidden. Their plan, however, was interrupted when they saw the people parading and creating weird noises. They eventually found the unconscious girl's body, which was adorned with intricate runes, placed before the tunnel. The couple tried scrapping the whole plan, with Dom feeling bad about it and Ronan feeling the need to bring her to the doctor. Yuan, however, insisted, breaking the tunnel's tiny door. A harrowing turn of events followed, with them hearing hysterical screams that appeared to be children's. Worried that there are other kids and with Yuan still determined to enter and film the inside, Dom agreed while Ronan stayed with the unconscious kid. Not long after, Yuan came out screaming, eventually running away without stopping by Ronan. Ronan saw the broken camera. Dom never came out. Later, Ronan saw Dom's lifeless body carried out of the tunnel by the villagers. When she found Yuan, he tried to bite her and later on lost his teeth. He kept screaming,
"Don't ask! Don't ask!"
until he fell down. The footage from within the tunnel has since become damaged and cannot be played. Following the birth of Dodo, Ronan made the difficult decision to leave her at a foster care facility and sought professional psychiatric assistance. Years down the line, Ronan made a remarkable recovery and was finally able to bring her 6-year-old daughter, Dodo, to live with her. Yet, their once peaceful home became plagued by a series of inexplicable events, and Dodo has been haunted by the presence of a mysterious shadow. As time passed, Dodo's health deteriorated, leaving her increasingly debilitated, while Ronan's mental well-being started to deteriorate. When social workers arrived intending to separate Dodo from Ronan, they managed to escape with the help of Ming, the compassionate manager of the foster care home, who treated her like his own child. They took Dodo to a sacred shrine, where a priest and his wife willingly decided to put their lives at stake to perform an exorcism on her. As part of the ritual, they instructed Dodo not to eat for the next 7 days. However, as her condition worsened and mysterious runes began to manifest all over her body, Ronan made the difficult decision to feed her. Tragically, the priest and his wife met a violent and untimely end. In the aftermath, Ronan rushed Dodo to a nearby hospital in a desperate bid to save her. Meanwhile, Ming traveled to Yunnan to delve deeper into the mysterious religion, commissioning professionals to expertly restore the damaged tunnel footage.
The hand gesture they do is a modified version of Bafangtian in Tantric Buddhism. So the Bafangtian gesture means to collect blessing, but their gesture ends in the opposite direction. Does this mean spread? He's one of the last remaining people who can translate ancient Buddhist scriptures.
Ming got the answers and returned home, finding that the video has been restored. His mental health rapidly declined just by watching the restored footage. Despite being weak, he managed to create a video. Surprisingly, he told her that he won't send the restored footage anymore. As his video went on, he expressed,
I was the one who reported you to social affairs, because I didn't believe you. I also thought it was unfair to me. I'm sorry. If something really happens to me, I hope you can let Dodo know that even though I can't have my own children biologically, I'm very happy Dodo was willing to call me Dad.
He was eventually possessed, sending the copy to Ronan before killing himself by smashing his own head repeatedly on his camera. In the footage, it became apparent that Dom and Yuan had arrived at the altar of the Mother Buddha, whose visage was concealed beneath a shroud. In their attempt to unveil the deity, Dom succumbed to possession, meeting his demise as he tragically ended his own life by repeatedly smashing his head. The video footage further unveiled that Yuan too fell under the grip of possession, and he was actually killed violently by unseen forces in the village. After watching the footage, Ronan recorded a video to seek other people's help. Later, Ronan, adorned with runes herself, made a haunting return to the altar within the tunnel. Shockingly, it was revealed that a Yunnan priest had disclosed the true nature of the Mother Buddha as a malevolent entity. Submitting one's name with the incantation was equivalent to willingly accepting the curse associated with it.
I'm sorry. I know some things shouldn't be seen, but this is the only way I can save her. If I can let more people see this and this symbol, then perhaps her curse can be alleviated.
Meanwhile, the Mother Buddha's face has to be covered because it is the source of the curse. Blindfolded, she emotionally sent her message to Dodo.
If possible, I really wish you weren't my child. Because I'm not a good mom. Because I really wish you could open your eyes every day and be very happy.
Then, she addressed the viewer directly, requesting their name, and boldly unveiled the face of the Mother Buddha on camera. She then gets possessed and smashes her own head on the altar. But later, after she shared Mother Buddha's head with the viewers, Dodo was seen healthy and happy, with no trace of the curse's impact.
Incantation is a 2022 Taiwanese supernatural folk horror film directed by Kevin Ko, who co-wrote the screenplay with Chang Cheh-wei. Released in Taiwan on March 18, 2022, it quickly became the highest-grossing Taiwanese horror film and gained international distribution on Netflix on July 8, 2022. The film follows Ronan, Tsai Huan-yen, who, after recovering in a mental institution, is eager to reunite with her daughter Dodo, Huang Xinting, raised in a foster home overseen by Ming, Cao Yinghuan. However, Dodo's return to Ronan comes with unsettling developments as she starts seeing invisible entities referred to as baddies. The movie employs the found footage style, using home videos and security camera footage, effectively weaving a story that moves back and forth in time. The presence of a young child in peril adds to the tension, and Ronan's interactions with the audience by breaking the fourth wall to chant Hu Ho Shou-yi, Siai Wumar create an eerie atmosphere. The culmination of the cursed video within a cursed tomb provides a chilling climax. While it adheres to the found footage horror genre, Incantation distinguishes itself by blending two narrative threads. One set in the present as Ronan strives to regain custody of her daughter and the other delving into her past. The decision to tape her daughter's return home serves as a compelling reason for the found footage format. The film boasts higher production quality compared to many other found footage films and incorporates impressive special effects, particularly in creating unsettling and trypophobic visuals. Though it does succumb to some of the shaky camera issues common in the genre, it manages to avoid the worst of them. Overall, Incantation delivers a solid found footage horror experience. The film's premise serves as an effective vehicle for the genre, and it keeps viewers engaged thanks to a talented cast, relatable elements, and a pervasive atmosphere of dread. With its captivating spellcasting and spine-tingling moments, Incantation is a worthwhile addition to the supernatural horror genre and a testament to the quality of Taiwanese cinema in this genre. Thank you for watching our movie synopsis. Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and notification bell to receive reminders of our next movie synopsis here on Bento's Story Box. See you next time, or at the movies.
In a Victorian-era town, Victor Van Dort, the child of nouveau-rich fish merchants, and Victoria Everglot, the forsaken daughter of impoverished aristocrats, prepared for their fixed marriage. This union is set to elevate the social standing of the Van Dort family while also reviving the fortunes of the Everglot family. While they were initially filled with anxiety, their hearts quickly succumbed to deep affection, and an instant love blossomed upon their first encounter. The anxious Victor, however, accidentally ruined their wedding rehearsal when he forgot his vows, fumbled with the ring, and inadvertently set Lady Everglot's gown ablaze. Fleeing to a nearby forest, he successfully rehearsed his vows with a tree and placed his wedding ring on an upturned root.
With this hand, I will lift your sorrows. Your cup will never empty, for I will be your wine. With this candle, I will light your way in darkness. With this ring, I ask you to be mine.
However, the root was revealed to be the skeletal finger of a deceased girl named Emily, dressed in a wedding gown.
I do.
She rose from the grave, declared herself as Victor's new wife, and spirited him away to the land of the dead, a realm far more colorful and whimsical. Meanwhile, in the world of the living,
Lord Burkiss, I trust the room is to your liking.
Thank you. You are a most gracious hostess. Which is why it pains me to be the bearer of such bad news. Would you care to repeat tonight's headline for us?
Victor Van Dort seen this night on the bridge in the arms of a mystery woman. The dark-haired temptress and Master Van Dort slipped away into the night.
Mystery woman? He doesn't even know any women.
Or so you thought. Do call for me if you need my assistance, in any way.
During his time with Emily, Victor was happily reunited with his long-deceased dog, Scraps.
A wedding present.
Thank you.
I knew you'd be happy to see him.
You should have seen him with fur. Mother never approved of Scraps jumping up like this. But then again, she never approved of anything.
He appreciated Emily's act, but in his desperation to return to Victoria, Victor deceived her, convincing her to accompany him back to the land of the living, claiming that he wanted her to meet his parents. Emily escorted Victor to visit Elder Gutknecht, the benevolent leader of the underworld, who bestowed upon them temporary permission to return to the living world. Victor was reunited with Victoria and openly confessed his desire to wed her without delay.
Victoria, I confess. This morning I was terrified of marriage. But then, on meeting you, I felt I should be with you always and that our wedding could not come soon enough.
Victor, I feel the same.
Just before the couple can exchange a kiss, Emily found them.
Darling? Who's this?
Who is she?
I'm his wife.
Victor?
Victoria, wait! You don't understand. She's dead. Look!
Feeling betrayed and deeply hurt, Emily forcibly took Victor back to the land of the dead.
You lied to me. Just to get back to that other woman.
Don't you understand? You're the other woman.
No! You're married to me. She's the other woman. And I thought this was all going so well.
Look, I'm sorry, but this just can't work.
Why not? It's my eye, isn't it?
No. Uri is lovely. Listen, under different circumstances, well, who knows? But we're just too different. I mean, you're dead.
You should have thought about that before you asked me to marry you.
Why can't you understand? It was a mistake. I would never marry you.
She walked away. Victoria attempted to inform her parents of Victor's predicament, but nobody believed her. They assumed he had abandoned her, and they suspected her of losing her sanity. Against her wishes, Victoria's parents opted to marry her off to Lord Burkiss Bittern, a wealthy guest who had appeared at the wedding rehearsal. Having reconciled with Emily, Victor discovered the news of Victoria's impending marriage to Burkiss from his recently departed coachman, Mayhew. Meanwhile, bad news came to Emily.
There's a complication with your marriage. The vows are binding only until death do you part. Death has already parted you.
If he finds out, he'll leave. There must be something you can do.
Well, there is one way. It requires the greatest sacrifice. Victor would have to give up the life he had forever. He would need to repeat his vows in the land of the living and drink from the wine of ages.
Poison!
This would stop his heart forever. Only then would he be free to give it to you.
I could never ask him.
You don't have to. I'll do it.
Victor, who had been listening to their conversation, revealed himself. He was still distressed by the news about Victoria. The deceased promptly readied themselves for the ceremony and made their way upstairs, which meant the land of the living. Upon their arrival, the townspeople briefly panicked, not recognizing the departed souls. And then...
Grandpa?
Alfred? You've been dead for 15 years.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Fear soon gave way to joy as they were reunited with their loved ones. Amidst the chaos, Burkiss, in a state of panic, inadvertently revealed his dire financial situation and his ulterior motive for wanting to marry Victoria, her presumed wealth.
We're going to take whatever money we can and get out of here.
Money? What money?
Your dowry. It's my right.
But my parents don't have any money. It's my marriage to you that will save them from the poorhouse.
The poorhouse? You're lying. It isn't true. Tell me that you're lying.
Did things not go according to your plan, Lord Burkiss? Well, perhaps in disappointment we are perfectly matched.
Victoria witnessed Victor and Emily's wedding as Victor completed his vows and was about to consume the poison. However, Emily halted him as she came to the realization that she was depriving Victoria of her opportunity to live a happy life with him.
I can't.
What's wrong?
This is wrong. I was a bride. My dreams were taken from me. Well, now I've stolen them from someone else. I love you, Victor, but you're not mine.
Just as Emily reunited Victor and Victoria, Burkiss arrived.
Oh, how touching. I always cry at weddings. Our young lovers together at last. Surely now they can live happily ever after. But you forget, she's still my wife. I'll not leave here empty-handed.
He then grabbed her. Emily recognized Burkiss as her former fiancé, the same person who murdered her as he stole her family's jewel and gold.
Emily? But... I left you.
For dead.
The revelation angered the deceased people inside the room.
This woman is obviously delusional. Sorry to cut things short, but we must be on our way.
Take your hands off her!
A duel ensued between Victor and Burkiss as Victor tried to protect Victoria, with Emily eventually intervening to save Victor's life. Acknowledging his defeat, Burkiss taunted Emily for passing away without marrying and, unknowingly, he took a sip of the poison.
Oh, I'm leaving. But first a toast. To Emily. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Tell me, my dear, can a heart still break once it's stopped beating?
He died after drinking all the poison. This allowed the deceased people, who were unable to interfere in the affairs of the living, to exact retribution upon him for his crimes. Emily, now liberated from her torment, released Victor from his vow to marry her and returned his ring, permitting him to wed Victoria.
I made a promise.
You kept your promise. You set me free. Now I can do the same for you.
Stepping into the moonlight, she transformed into a swarm of butterflies that ascended into the sky while Victor and Victoria watched and embraced.
Tim Burton's Corpse Bride is a visually stunning stop-motion animated film that delves into themes of love, death, and the afterlife. The movie has garnered a dedicated following and received positive reviews from both audiences and critics for its unique and gothic storytelling. Here's a brief review and commentary on the film. One of the standout features of Corpse Bride is its incredible animation and artistry. The film's dark and whimsical world is brought to life through meticulous stop-motion animation, which is a hallmark of Tim Burton's work. The character designs, the land of the dead, and the intricate details of the puppets and sets are all visually captivating. The film's use of color, with the land of the living depicted in muted tones and the land of the dead in vibrant, otherworldly colors, creates a striking visual contrast that reinforces the thematic differences between the two realms. At its core, Corpse Bride is a love story with a twist. It explores the idea of true love transcending death and societal norms. Victor and Emily's relationship is built on mutual understanding and sacrifice, and the film sends a message that love can overcome even the most challenging circumstances. The character's journey from the land of the dead to the land of the living also serves as a commentary on the importance of forgiveness and redemption. The characters in Corpse Bride are multidimensional and relatable. Victor, Victoria, and Emily each have their own struggles, desires, and growth throughout the story. This character depth allows the audience to connect with their experiences and empathize with their choices. The film blends dark comedy with its macabre themes, providing humor that appeals to both children and adults. The characters in the land of the dead are lively and entertaining, and the film uses humor to balance its darker undertones. Additionally, Danny Elfman's music score complements the film's atmosphere and adds an extra layer of emotion to the story. Corpse Bride is influenced by the works of Gothic literature, such as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Edgar Allan Poe's stories, which is evident in its thematic elements and visual design. The film pays homage to classic horror and Gothic romance, making it an engaging watch for those who appreciate these genres. Corpse Bride is a beautifully crafted film that weaves a compelling love story into a dark and imaginative world. It offers a unique blend of dark and whimsical elements, making it a noteworthy addition to the animated film genre. With its stunning visuals and memorable characters, the film stands as a testament to Tim Burton's creative genius and his ability to explore profound themes in an enchanting and accessible way. Thank you for watching our movie synopsis. Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and notification bell to receive reminders of our next movie synopsis here on Bento's Storybox. See you next time, or at the movies.
In the quiet suburbs of Florida, Jacob Portman lived a seemingly ordinary life. But beneath the facade of normalcy, he nurtured a unique bond with his grandfather, Abraham Abe Portman. Abe was a captivating storyteller, regaling Jacob with tales of wondrous children with extraordinary abilities and the mysterious Miss Peregrine's home for peculiar children. As Jacob grew older, skepticism began to cloud his belief in his grandfather's stories. Were they mere fairy tales or remnants of a vivid imagination? That all changed one fateful day when Jacob received a distressing call from his grandfather. Abe's voice trembled with urgency, insisting Jacob come to him at once. Alarmed, Jacob rushed to his grandfather's home, anxious to see him. But when he arrived, he found the house eerily silent and Abe nowhere to be seen. Panic seized him, and he frantically searched every room. As he ventured further into the house, a series of unsettling photographs and peculiar objects piqued his curiosity. Each image depicted children with inexplicable gifts, floating, levitating, and peculiar beyond imagination. Jacob was left to wonder if his grandfather's stories held more truth than he had ever imagined. Jacob continued his search and eventually discovered Abe lifeless. He was stunned, heartbroken, and burdened with a burning desire to understand the meaning behind Abe's mysterious demise. Haunted by nightmares of ghastly creatures lurking in the shadows, Jacob found himself questioning the world around him. Desperate for answers, he revisited the photographs and letters that had left him intrigued and perplexed. Among them, one image stood out, an old photograph of a magnificent house situated on a remote island in Wales. And standing before it, a striking woman with an aura of ethereal grace, Miss Alma Leafy Peregrine. Driven by an inexplicable force, Jacob embarked on a journey to Cairnholm Island, guided by the cryptic clues left behind in his grandfather's belongings. His father accompanied him, a beacon of steadiness amidst the storm of emotions that threatened to consume Jacob. The island emerged from the fog like an enigma from another time. A mysterious aura engulfed it, as if time itself had wrapped the island in its embrace. As they ventured deeper into the heart of Cairnholm, Jacob felt a profound sense of déjà vu, as if he had walked these paths before in another lifetime. Finally, amidst the ruins of an ancient house, Jacob found himself face to face with the enchanting Miss Peregrine, a woman who defied the boundaries of ordinary existence. And there, in that moment, Jacob's world shattered and reassembled itself. His life was forever entwined with the peculiar children he encountered, the tales of his grandfather, and the enigmatic Miss Peregrine's home for peculiar children. Little did he know that his journey had only just begun, and the mysteries that awaited him would challenge everything he thought he knew about the world and his place in it. As Jacob stepped into the world of the peculiar children, he felt a rush of excitement and trepidation. The children's peculiar abilities were both fascinating and daunting, and he found himself drawn to each of them in their own peculiar way. Miss Peregrine, the Imbrin who could manipulate time and create time loops, welcomed Jacob warmly into her home. She explained that the time loop was a protective mechanism, keeping the children safe from the relentless hollows that sought to capture and devour them. She and the children live in a time loop she created, set on September 3, 1943, and accessible only to peculiars. The loop also allows them to live the same day repeatedly and avoid aging as long as they stay inside it. Jacob marveled at the children's peculiarities. Emma, with her ability to levitate and command the air to her will; Millard, the invisible boy whose witty remarks were as sharp as his mind; Olive, whose mere touch could ignite flames; and Bronwyn, whose incredible strength belied her young age. As the days passed, Jacob became more immersed in the peculiar world. He met other peculiars like Fiona, who has the ability to make plants grow; Hugh, a boy with bees living in his stomach; Claire, a young girl with an additional mouth hidden in the back of her head; Horace, a boy who can project his dreams, which are often prophetic; Enoch, the dead riser who can bring inanimate objects to life; and the twins who turn anyone who sees them into stone. He also discovered his own peculiar ability to see the hollows, who remained invisible to most humans. This revelation both frightened and empowered him, for he knew that his unique gift could play a vital role in protecting the children from danger. Miss Peregrine taught Jacob about the importance of maintaining the time loop, ensuring that the children never ventured outside of the day that was forever theirs. They lived in a perpetual time capsule, and each day was a repetition of the previous one. The peculiar children embraced Jacob as one of their own, finding comfort in his presence and his unwavering support. Despite the peculiarity of their existence, they were a family, bound together by their shared experiences and a deep-rooted sense of belonging. As Jacob spent time with them, he came to understand that each child had their reasons for being peculiar. Some had experienced tragedy or hardship, and their peculiarities had become both a gift and a burden. Together, they forged a bond of camaraderie that transcended the boundaries of time and space. Yet, amid the laughter and joy, a cloud of unease loomed on the horizon. Miss Peregrine shared tales of the hollows, creatures that were once peculiars themselves, now twisted and evil, hell-bent on consuming the souls of the peculiar children to regain their humanity. The children knew the dangers that lurked beyond the time loop, and they were always vigilant, ready to retreat to the safety of the loop at the slightest hint of danger. Jacob, too, felt a growing sense of responsibility to protect his new friends and their world from the looming threat of the hollows. As the days turned into weeks, Jacob's bond with the peculiar children deepened. He felt a sense of purpose and belonging that he had never experienced before, and he knew that his journey had led him to a place where he truly belonged. However, little did Jacob know that the calm days of the time loop were numbered. The hollows were drawing nearer, and a storm of uncertainty and danger loomed on the horizon. As the peculiar world braced itself for the imminent confrontation, Jacob would soon discover the depth of his courage and the true extent of his peculiar identity. The journey that had begun with his grandfather's stories was now his own, and he was determined to protect the family he had found in Miss Peregrine's home for peculiar children. As the days passed in the enchanting world of Miss Peregrine's home for peculiar children, an ominous tension hung in the air. The peculiar children knew that the Hollows drew nearer with each passing moment, and the threat of their arrival loomed like an impending storm. Miss Peregrine remained vigilant, constantly monitoring the time loop and the safety of her charges. She imparted wisdom to the children, reminding them of the importance of sticking together and following the rules of the loop. Each day was a delicate balance between enjoyment and caution. Jacob, too, felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He had quickly become an integral part of the peculiar family, and he knew he had to do everything in his power to protect his newfound friends from the malevolent Hollows. As the peculiar children trained to harness their unique abilities, Jacob eagerly sought to understand his own peculiar gift. With Miss Peregrine's guidance, he honed his ability to see the Hollows, using this insight to detect their presence even before they fully materialized. In one heart-pounding moment, Jacob's gift proved its worth. He sensed the presence of a Hollow nearby and alerted the others. The peculiar children sprang into action, retreating into the safety of the time loop just in time to avoid a confrontation. Miss Peregrine's eyes glinted with pride as she witnessed Jacob's growing courage and resourcefulness. He had become an essential protector of the peculiar world, and his presence gave the children a newfound sense of hope. Amid the preparations for the Hollow's potential arrival, Emma confided in Jacob about her past and the pain she carried. He listened compassionately, recognizing that each child bore scars from their peculiarities and that they leaned on each other for strength. As the days passed, Jacob's bond with Emma deepened, and he found himself falling for her. Their connection transcended the boundaries of the peculiar world, and they found solace in each other's presence. However, the calm did not last forever. The Hollows had arrived, as wounded Imbrin, Miss Avocet, said when she reached their loop. She narrated how Mr. Barron assaulted her in the January 2016 time loop at Blackpool, England, killed her children, and is trying to repeat the failed experiment using more Imbrins. Jacob returned to 2016 and found that an elderly man has been killed by a Hollow and goes back to the portal to warn them that the Hollow is near. He, however, was followed by an ornithologist who is actually Mr. Barron in disguise. Jacob also found that Mr. Barron is a shapeshifter, and he used to disguise himself as his doctor, Dr. Golan, encouraging Jacob to go to the island so he could lead him to the loop. With Jacob as his hostage, Mr. Barron found the loop that used to be the safe place of Miss Peregrine and her peculiars. To ensure the safety of the children, she transformed into her bird form as the enemies wanted and let Mr. Barron take her. Searching for Miss Peregrine, who had been their mother for so long, the children traveled to where they suspected the Imbrins would be and found them in a 2016 loop. The peculiars used their special abilities to fight the enemies. During the fight, Mr. Barron copied the image of Jacob to puzzle his peculiar friends. But when the last remaining Hollow arrived, Jacob saw it and saved himself, leaving the monster to kill the enemy. Jacob said goodbye to the children who returned in 1943 while he stayed in 2016. Because they killed Mr. Barron and his companions in the loop that took place before Abe's death, they were able to erase their presence in Florida later on, thus preventing his grandfather's demise. Jacob met Abe. He gave him a map of international time loops, which Jacob took and eventually reunited with Emma in 1943. There, he shared what happened to him as he tried to find them. Miss Peregrine stood from a distance and watched the children sail, eventually transforming into a bird as she followed them.